Good evening, everybody. I'm Michael D., along with Ron, and a registered nurse, Carol. Well, we sat down earlier, Ron, and you're drawing a topic out of the hat again. What's it going to be, brother?
Well, Mike, the topic tonight should be, is the southern border wall necessary?
I see. Okay, and how do you feel that the border wall should have been built a long time ago, or should have been built just recently?
I'm thinking that it could have been built during any administration. It's been a necessary thing for the longest time, but some people are pro-immigration, very much so. Maybe not lately because of the pandemic, but mostly they are. Many people are pro-immigration.
I think that they should have built that wall at least in the 80s, and we wouldn't have had the problem that we have now. Carol?
I don't know the wall necessarily stops people from coming in. I'm not sure how effective it is. I wonder about that. I definitely feel if there is a benefit to a wall being built, that it should have been done a long time ago and not, something that we're just doing now or thought of recently as being a need for. If there's a need for it, it should have been done a long time ago.
Okay, Mike, I don't know whether you introduced Carol or not on this particular podcast. You want to introduce her? What she's been? I can introduce her. Carol has been, was an active nurse for 21 years. She's retired from nursing. She's actually been licensed to be a nurse for the past 4 years. And we're going to be asking some medical questions from her. Okay?
That's fine.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, Ron.
Okay. Carol, this thing about, Michael and I were discussing this earlier. He discovered that since late March, only 2 people have been admitted in the United States. 2 immigrants have been admitted, and that's all since late March. And all this time and now here it is past, going on mid-May. And
that's probably because of the pandemic.
Well, of course, but I mean, do you think they could have screened more people, or should they have actually went to the trouble of screening more people to get them in here? What do you think with the pandemic that's going on, with the shutdown, I should say?
Well, I definitely think that people should be more carefully screened. That should have been going on. And, it only makes sense if there were more than 2 people that tried to come in or that needed to be assessed to see if they could even come in. So it doesn't make sense that happened. No, there should be everybody should be screened.
Carol, so what you're saying, Carol, is
more people need to be.
So what you're saying, Carol, is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you mind?
Carol, so what you're really saying is that if the pandemic wasn't here, that there was more attempts to come over. That's what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying that anybody that's coming needs to be screened or checked or, whatever our immigration laws are that are in effect, they should be in effect. People should be screened. You shouldn't just be able to come in. You could be coming in to do all kinds of things that could cause problems. Obviously you need to be screened.
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Ron, how do you feel about that?
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
Ron, how do you feel about Carol's comment?
Anyway, I had this is amazing that only 2 people have been admitted. But how many people have they caught crossing the border? We have no report on that. How many many people have been caught trying to cross the borders in the United States. I'm sure they caught some. We never know how many escape and do get in, but whatever. We don't have to count on that. But there's always that. And who knows who's infected that comes in. It just comes to that question, do we need a wall there? How long have we needed a wall? Any opinions on that?
I think, you know, now there's a lot of issues that we're not even thinking about. What about the issue of security itself? I mean, you know, terrorists coming in or just, you know, obviously there's anyone in the world could possibly be coming in and there has to be a process that takes place that makes it safe in every way, that it's screened and that it's appropriate. Whatever. And we know where the person is going and why they're going, where they're going, and it's accepted or not accepted.
So there's too many open borders? Is that what you're thinking? Where there should be a wall? Where they can't have enough personnel to guard those borders?
I don't think it should just be haphazard that anybody just walks through like as if it's the same, you know, country, because it's not. You know, it has to be done officially. Okay. There's a process. Okay, I feel that we need to be very careful no matter what the type of travel is that people are doing from wherever it is that they're coming from. There has to be a screening process with any agency that's handling it, whether it be aviation-wise, whether it be walking across the border, traveling with a vehicle of any sort, whatever way, you know, there has to be a station or an agency that handles making sure that everything is in check. Everything is acceptable and safe. And we know where the person is going, their identity, and so on and so forth.
Carol, how would you feel about international travel, even after the pandemic is over with?
All right, well, that's, you know, it remains to be seen. We don't know how long this thing is going to last. You're saying that when it's over, how do I feel? What are you saying exactly?
Okay. How comfortable would you feel traveling international after this pandemic is over? How comfortable would you feel?
Just traveling in general?
Yes.
Well, I think that we have to be just careful about who's going where and what, you know, what's going on as far as, I think after what we've been through, we've learned a few things. It's not always safe to have everybody here that comes in, maybe because they could be spreading a deadly virus or whatever. We have to be more careful in the future about how we do things. Things have to change.
So is there...
I don't think it can be the same. Oh, you know, it really remains to be seen. But I'm of the belief that things are going to be changed as a result of what we are going through now.
I believe you're right. It has to be a big change, and hopefully it will change.
Yeah.
Maybe in President Trump's next 4 years, he might go farther in steps that he needs to. What do you think about that?
Uh-huh. Can you repeat that?
I said, maybe in the president's next 4 years, he might take the necessary steps that have to be taken. What do you think?
I'm all for it. If there are certain steps that need to be taken and he feels, I think it's something that we need to discuss. What are the 4 steps, or what are the steps to be taken exactly to make sure that, you know, it all makes sense. But I'm sure that it sounds reasonable. Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I agree
There
with
are
you.
steps that need to be taken, absolutely.
Oh, I agree with you 100% on that one. Some steps need to be taken
At the
farther than what they are
Yeah.
at the present time.
present time,
Yes.
at the present time, we need to be as careful as possible. We have something that's really not resolved at this point, and we're all in limbo. We don't even know if we can go out down the street in a certain way without checking and seeing what makes sense or is safe, one way or the other. We don't know. There's so much that we don't know right now. We're in limbo.
That's right. I agree with you. Carol, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Do you think that this pandemic is truly really worse than the Great Depression in 1929?
Now, I was not alive in 1929. I really don't know that much about what that pandemic was in particular, if it was as contagious or if, I know that very little was understood about it at the time, like we're going through with this one. I think that, they didn't have medical care available the way that we do now with machines and things. So people weren't able to, to live through the conditions that they had, maybe that they are now. So that's really that's a tough question to ask, because you really need like the same exact set of circumstances as far as the virus itself to be in the world now as it exists now in order to compare the two. You can't compare it to the old world to the new world. You really can't make a fair comparison that way. It's not really possible.
Okay.
I don't think. To answer.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Carol, for being a guest on Mike's podcast and mine.
Oh, you're welcome. That's fine. I had fun.
Right. Good. And I'm kind of leaning toward the fact that we probably needed that wall, that southern border wall for a long time, too. And we'd like to really know what our listeners think, too, about that wall. Should it be built or should it not? You can get on Twitter. Mike will explain how you do that. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, thank you very much, Ron. I want to thank you for being on again, and I want to thank all of the first responders, and I want to hear from your comments as well on Twitter. Okay, you got the idea, and let's hear from you. All right, everybody. Until tomorrow.
Okay.
Take care. Carol, thank you much again.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, you're very welcome. Take care, and may God bless all of you.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
You too. Thank